It is the beginning of January 2028. And what's weird is that there might be one day that someone's watching this video and it is actually the beginning of January 2028. At the time of recording, it's obviously not that, it's 2024, I think. But regardless, we have a really big year ahead of us for Nerdrosoft. We're going to be releasing a phone and a console, and I have some plans for my subsidiaries. I have plans to get more subsidiaries, and I think this is going to be a really interesting way to continue to take Nerdrosoft in the more corporate direction that we've been going ever since we brought in a new CEO. Now, to be clear, I think Sandra McCarthy has done a fantastic job at the head of Nerdrosoft. The company has had more success in the last couple of years than arguably it has ever had. So to say that Sandra is making the wrong decisions would just simply not be true. And that means that she can rest easy in her office, my old office, just knowing that the future for Nerdrosoft might still be very, very bright, especially with what I want to do with my subsidiaries and a couple of other companies as well. So long story short, we have Brain Knot Studio. I know that it's sort of Brain Night sort of studio, but we'll call it Brain Knot Studio. These guys have released quite a few things over the years. It's all been games, right? They started in 2005 with Dream Gang's Show 2, apparently. There might be some weirdness going on there. Actually, it's not sorted by releases, never mind. They started in 1988 with Dream Gang's Show right about there. They've had a good amount of success with it as well. The last one did 120 million, which isn't by any means their best seller. Their best seller was the Battlefield Deluxe right about here. But what I'm interested in, because we have a first-person shooter, we have Hellshock. What I'm interested in is Soldiercraft in Space 3. And I'm interested in this because it got me thinking, I've been thinking lately about the games industry, and that got me thinking about how big publishers and these tech giants love to buy out smaller companies and say, hey, we love what you did with that one thing. Do more of that, please. That's sort of my idea with Brain Knot Studio. They have some huge successes on their hands with both Soldiercraft in Space 3 and Dream Gang's Show 4, 1.3 million active users on Dream Gang's Show 4. But the names are terrible, for one. The names are absolutely terrible. And for two, the company itself is working on other things as well. They are working on Kingdom Gang's Light, which is a simulation game. They're working on Dream Gang Show 5, which is great. It's going to be out next year. And that's all well and good, but I want to start taking over some of these franchises a little bit. I want to take the reins a little bit and really sort of steer these guys in some specific directions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into develop software, and I'm going to say that what I'd like to do is make a game, and I would like to go to my subsidiaries. I would like specifically to go to these guys, and I want to make another Soldiercraft in Space game, but I want to rename it. They've done their own little trilogy. Now we're getting Nerdrosoft into the mix, and we're going to call it Spacecraft. Sort of like StarCraft, but not, and it does tie into sort of the Saturn and the Astrophone theme that we've been doing with this company, so that works nicely. It's going to be $69 because, of course, it's going to be servers will be the usual ones. And I'm going to use someone else's framework for this because it's just a little bit easier. And then basically, we want to design something that should reasonably be a fun real-time strategy game. So we're going to do customizable characters. My interpretation of that is basically you can customize what your soldiers look like. I think that's good. I'd like that in a real-time strategy game. I don't care about dialogue trees and a branching story. Physics could be fun. We'll go with that. Post-processing will make it look nice. An advanced HUD is a must-have. Adaptive music for when you're in and out of battle, of course. Recorded dialogue so you can hear your soldiers scream and give orders. Shadows and, honestly, facial animations aren't really huge. I'm going to be honest on that one. I don't think VR is necessary either. I think we will do facial animations over... Well, you know what? You know what? We'll do VR. We'll do VR support for this thing. We'll give it cutscenes as well. And I think that's fine. I think that's about everything we want it to have. It's going to be approximately 3 years. I'm totally okay with that. We'll head over here. The 2D editor in question, can we get recent releases? We can use Canvas 9. 2024 tech level seems pretty good. The 3D editor is going to be Vector 10 with a 2023 tech level, which is great. And the audio tool will be Wave 16 with a 2025 tech level, which is fantastic as well. In terms of operating systems, I'm going to go with the most active users right about here. And then I might also look at releases. We do have some more recent releases that aren't doing amazingly. I'm also, unfortunately, not able to put it on anything else. We could do Saturn, actually. That would be a great idea. Let me sort by active users again. Go for you and you. Sort by release. Let me throw Saturn in there, and let me throw the Astro phone in there as well, just because we do want people using those systems, and that should be fine. So again, approximately 3 years to make this game is completely fine. We will focus in on the gameplay, which I think is important for a real-time strategy game. And then we can assign design and development teams, but I'm going to say none to both of those, and we're going to see if this works. Because it is, I think, being given to my subsidiary. Yeah. Spacecraft has been added to Brainnaut Studios' development queue and will begin development once current projects are finished. So if we head over here and look at the details, we can see Spacecraft is right here, and that's great. And I'm very, very tempted, I'm going to be honest, I'm very tempted to cancel these other projects so they work on this a bit quicker. But I think what I'm going to do instead is wait until May 2029. I'm going to take over the Dream Gangs show franchises. Well, not take it over, but I'm going to revamp it, come up with a better name, and then we'll do a 6th one. And I'm going to try to keep this company focusing specifically on Spacecraft and whatever that franchise will be called. And that's essentially what I'd like to do with some of my other subsidiaries as well. Now, these guys, admittedly, they're working on a joystick for a console. That's surprising. I don't know what Odyssey Remote is. I don't really want them doing a Vector Premium, but I'd be lying. I mean, is Vector Premium profitable for them? No, Cinema 4D, which is, I'm pretty sure is an actual thing, is actually quite profitable. Vector Premium has done money, which is great. I don't like that these guys just use Vector as their franchise. Maybe what I should do. So they're doing Vector Premium 4, right? Vector Premium is a 2D editor. Vector Studio is their 3D editor. And Vector Studio 2 was their most recent 3D editor. It did make money. I almost wonder if we should tell them to make a new one, do Vector Studio 3, but call it something else. Just so that we don't have that confusion, you know? That might be a great idea, to start steering them away from using, you know, my intellectual property. Although in saying that, I don't know if they're ever going to go back to Vector Studio, because they are doing Cinema 4D Premium 2, which is a whole mouthful of words right there. Let me just double check. They're not doing, okay, so they are just doing the premium one. Okay, well, in that case, I might leave them alone. I might leave those guys alone and just let them sort of do their thing. But I want to have a look at all of the other software. I want to sort by release, and I want to see what interesting games we have coming out. So we have a first-person shooter, The Battle Arms of Death 2. We already have Hellshock, so we don't really need that. We also have adventure games in the form of King Doom, even though in my head it's more of a first-person shooter, but it's an adventure game in Software Inc. And then we have a real-time strategy game with the subsidiary. So we need a sports game and we need a simulation game. So the question becomes, what sports game do we want? Now this one, Skate Tricks 2016, is doing pretty well. Let me have a look at the company and see, are they publicly listed? Because if they are, I might just take them over. They're 40% listed. They're also up there as the third most valuable company, second most in the bank, but third most valuable overall. So I don't know that taking them over is going to be all that easy. So instead, let's have a look at the companies that are listed with 50% or higher and see what they've done. So you guys have a bunch of tools. That's fine. You guys, that's the same company. You guys, what do you got? You've got a bunch of games. Okay. Now this I can deal with. You've never really done a sports game though, from what I can see. You have done simulation games though. And if we look at the overall profits on your games, if we look for the top profits here, so 505 million for a computer operator. Oh, these guys do IntoS. But they weren't the creator. They just bought the franchise. Okay, so they have a simulation game. This is something they actually created. Coaster Manager in Heaven 2. So it's basically a roller coaster simulator, which is pretty cool. December 2024. Okay, 2.2 million active users. 298 million in profits. I'm suddenly interested in this company. So let's look at the details. Let's find the owner. Let me look at your chart, or not your chart. I want to look at your details again and have a look at your, yeah. So I would have to spend $304 million to get 50.1% of the share of this company. Man, that's a lot. That is a lot. But you know what? I might do it. It's an unreasonable amount of money, but I think I might do it and then take a 608,000. So basically I would have to spend, I'd be spending close to $1 billion to take over Skip Tina Interactive. I don't know that I want to do that. I'm not going to lie. I don't know that I want their franchises that much, but I do like the idea of having sort of that level of control over another franchise. I think that's kind of a cool idea. So, I mean, we've bought 304 million, basically 305 million. Do we just take them over for the full 600? I think we do. I think we've got a big year ahead of us for 2028. Let's take over the company. They're going to be a subsidiary. I only have enough business reputation to own 2 subsidiaries. Really? Oh. Okay. I would like my business reputation to be higher. Does that mean that I need to strike up more deals? I mean, I guess maybe it does. Let's take up some printing jobs, I guess, because I'm pretty sure we can turn all of these out. Yeah, these guys all want this stuff by May. I'm pretty sure we can do that. Let me accept all of those, and we should be able to produce those in no time at all. Let me actually minimize this for a second and see, do we have all of these guys working? This little redesign to this production space might actually get some use now, although it's also possible that it might. Oh, there we go. So yeah, everything's heading out. We should have, oh, we failed the fire inspection, really? Oh, because of this room. Of course we did. All right. So this redesign of the production space just exists to better use the spaces that we weren't using before. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing too fancy. It's just right. Now, let me see. Fire inspection. Good. That seems fine. Let me call the fire inspector to make sure that we're doing all right. And let me just double check that my manufacturing is going pretty well here. So we can do $250,000 of each of these per month, which means this really shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. We should be completely fine at getting all this stuff out. And this is only one printing location. We also have the spaces over here, so we really shouldn't have any issues getting my business reputation to be a little bit higher. I would like that extra subsidiary. I might even go so far as saying that maybe we get rid of Field Biz Studio, because again, if we look at their details, they're not doing anything I'm too interested in, right? They're really not. I also don't know if I can sell them. Now that I think about it, I don't know if can I. So that's your chart. That's not really what I'm looking for. I don't know if I can get rid of a subsidiary. Is that not a thing? I guess it's probably not, right? Well, that ever so slightly complicates things. Yeah, I mean, they're not listed. I guess I just have to take all the money out of the company and then let them go bankrupt. You know what? I think I'm gonna. I don't think I want these guys. I only bought them to be petty anyway. So let me look at their details and let me just take 149 million out of this company. Yeah, that's that's what I'm gonna do. They're not gonna be autonomous. I'm gonna just take the 149 million out of the company and let them go broke. So they're now down there. They have $32 in the bank. They have 4.5 million fans. This might hurt my reputation. This is like a nasty thing to do, but we don't need the company anymore. And we're not interested in selling it. So again, we're going to do the super corporate option of just saying, hey, we're closing down the studio. We're not selling it. We're not selling the IP. Well, we might sell the IP. It's definitely possible we'll do that just to get a bit more money out of it. But we're just going to let them go broke. It's horrible as it is. We're just going to let them go broke. And there it is. FieldBiz Studio went bankrupt. You received 8 products, 1 framework, and 6 add-ons. They went bankrupt and shut down. 8 products. All of these guys. Can I sell them? So Record Shop, for example, trade the IP. They want it for 838,000. Sure, I'm fine with that. You can have that IP. Cinema 40 Premium. we'll give it to those guys as well. That's totally okay. And then I think I will hold on to the vector IPs because that is a little bit of a conflict of interest to sell that to other people. I don't want other companies messing around with those. So I think that's the safe bet to keep us good. Now, interestingly, Astrophone 2 has just gone out, which is very exciting. Is it good? It is outstanding. It is inspiring. Absolutely fantastic. Minus 48 million. That's a bit rough. Let's aim for 150,000 units on assembly line number 3, I think is the one we're looking for. So assembly line 3 right there. And we'll see how that goes. It has 250,000 in stock right now, so it shouldn't be printing anything, but I'm hoping for some good things. I'm also kind of hoping that we can maybe get these guys to update this thing because the tech levels are a little bit behind right now. So if we can get this thing to be good, just as people are picking it up, that'd be great. It's also, to be fair, it does have some project management tasks to be automatically updated, but I figure I might as well. I don't know if they're going to update it right away. So if I can get them to update it on day 1, that seems like it's going to be good for us. And it's going very quickly, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll sort of let them keep going with that. And I guess now that I only have one subsidiary, I mean, realistically, I could take these guys over now, which is so tempting. It's so tempting to just go ahead and do it. But let's wait on this Astrophone update going out, and I guess we'll hope for the best on that first. We are being held back by 2D art, which is really interesting. That's actually kind of surprising. Can I assign maybe the 2D team and well, the 2D team's not going to do anything. Let me just put all of these guys on it for a second because we should have. Yeah, there we go. We have people that can do that. So we'll push that update out. That brings it up to date really nicely. It is March 2028. It's about to be the end of March 2028. So let's find out if Astrophone 2 is at all profitable. Now, we did lose money because we filed our taxes, which is good. It did 9 million last month. Okay, that I can work with. Let's start moving Hellshock 5. I don't want to update. Oh, I didn't mean to update. Push that update out. Let's start porting Hellshock 5 over to whatever we can port it to. Now, interestingly, Astrophone 2 doesn't support Hellshock 5. That's really concerning. I'm not, okay. Wave 16, not really anything to go for there. Huh. Kingdom Guardians, can I port you to anything good? Is there anything worth porting any of this to? It doesn't really seem like it. I guess Canvas 10, it's ported as well. Actually, we have all these port jobs paused down here because Hellshock 5, we're waiting on release of Saturn, aren't we? Okay, let's start working on the King Doom port job and get that going as quickly as we possibly can. We'll be waiting for a release there as well, which again is totally fine. At least we're gonna be able to put it on our consoles and hope for the best on that one. And I guess, how are we doing in terms of past month profits? So 9 there, 6 there, 3, 1, 1, 1, and then less. So we're still turning a pretty good profit, basically. Oh, it turns out that we have already ported Hellshock 5 and Kingdom Guardians to the Astrophone. It's just that we're waiting for release on the Saturn ports, which is completely fine. So let's get this one going as well, just to make sure that all these port jobs are done really nicely and really quickly. And I guess it's now just a case of waiting for next month when Saturn 2 goes out the door. Also, do we have any idea when the next Astrophone? I mean, they're designing the third one. They're aiming for May 31. Okay, well, that's fair enough. May of 2031. Again, really weird to think about that not being all that far away, all things considered. Just 2030 in general feels wrong. Not gonna lie, just really feels weird. An employee is having computer issues. Hire IT support and upgrade old computers. You're supposed to have a laptop. That's the goal here. Although I will say we have something like 500 employees, which means 500 computers. I don't know that we have that much. I think we have 2 guys in IT support right now. So maybe not a bad idea to, it might not be a bad idea to shift these over to be like night shift workers. So if we did like 8 p.m., they leave at midnight. Let's do let's do 10 p.m. for IT support, and let me maybe hire maybe 2 more of them would be a good idea right there, just to make sure that everything's all right. And then I think all of them, in fact, you know what? All of my IT support come in at 10 p.m. Well, actually, we have 6 of them. Maybe 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. so they can do some work in the morning before people get here. And hopefully that's going to just work out nicely for us. Now, it is June, which means Saturn 2 has to go out the door. Over 1,000 bugs have been fixed, which is great. We don't have as many followers as I'd like, but I think reasonably, we're just going to release this thing. So out the door it goes. That's the controller that's gone out. It's great quality, 5 stars. Very stable product, 5 stars. And 4 stars. I'll take it. Marketing campaign is my marketing team, which is totally fine. We'll do $50,000 as per usual. And then Saturn 2 itself, talk of the town. They're going to go for Mars Connect if they're honest. That's fine. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. And we'll do 60,000 on the Saturn 2 marketing campaign. So let's move these to the top and see what we can do. We'll see if we can make it decent. Let's also immediately push for an update on Saturn 2 to try and get this thing, again, just to be as good as it can possibly be. We're going to do just the... Well, you know what? We'll do the console and the core teams to work on this. We'll get that update pushed out the door again as quickly as we possibly can, pushing it up to here so I can see what's going on. And marketing, I kind of need you guys to wind down Saturn marketing and the controllers. So we'll bring this up to a 10, bring this up to an 8, and that'll be fine. Kingdom Guardians is still selling really well, so let's keep that at maybe a 6. Saturn, really not worried about it. Let's just end marketing on the original. Saturn 2 has no active users. That's not really surprising, all things considered. And I guess we'll just keep supporting everything else as well. So we're doing all right. We'll hopefully get this update out a little bit sooner than later, and hopefully bringing in new IT people is going to mean that all the computers get fixed a little bit sooner than later. And hopefully that means my employees are going to stop complaining about the state of their computers. Oh no, this is hilarious. These guys are offering me 28.6 million for the King Doom IP. I somehow don't think so. That's absolutely not going to be a thing. These guys all want some printing done. I'm pretty sure it's all by end of year. So I'm pretty sure if I select all of these, we can do all of those printing tasks, which will be absolutely fine. In manufacturing jobs, I want to say I can probably do these as well. I think. I mean, this is a Rivals console. I don't love the idea that we're going to be working on that, but we do have the parts to assemble it. And then for this one, we have the parts to assemble it as well. I don't know if we can actually pull this off, but I'm going to accept it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Somehow, actually, I don't think we can do this one, which is slightly worrying. I might have gotten a little bit carried away on this. Can I assign you guys to different assembly lines? There we go. So this one's not doing enough. If I switch it to like this, though, we're now going to be doing enough for both of them. So we'll let that go ahead. That is going to cost me money to print all of those products, but at the very least, it should give me money because, you know, I'm printing someone else's thing, and ideally they're going to pay me for it really nicely. So we'll see how that goes. Lloyd Cruz took over lead design duties of King Doom Infinite because Stacy Knox retired. Oh, now you were here for 18 years. You were my core. Oh, you were one of my lead designers on that. I don't love that the lead designer of something has left in the middle of the process, but that's fine. Let's take a look at our awards this year. Best employer is still me, naturally. Best product is not me. Admittedly, that's okay. And the most profitable product is me with Vector 10. Okay. I'll take it. We're doing pretty good there. We also have so many boxes to be collected around here. Hopefully the couriers can get to all of that sooner than later. Although I will say it'd be kind of cool to see all of these pallets start to fill up a little bit down here. That's something I like seeing. So yeah, that's all right. Now let's see. Saturn 2 just did $10.8 million. That's actually kind of amazing. Really, really happy about that. Astrophone still hasn't broken even, but it's still selling like crazy, which is great. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I have my doubts that Saturn 2 is, or the controller is going to make money, but we'll definitely find out. Is the controller any good? It is outstanding. Okay, well, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Let's keep that going. This year, like I said, is set to be a really good year for the company. Let's continue these port jobs that we have going on as well, just to try and get all of those out of the way and keep the money coming in on all the different franchises that we have. And reasonably, we also probably want to make sure everything is ported to our operating systems, but I think for the most part the games are on our operating systems, so that's fine. You know, I'm starting to think that I might have overdone it with some of this production stuff that's going on, because my entire ground floor is now full, and this one is, well, actually starting to empty out a little bit, which is great. I did go through and hire a few more couriers though, so we might be all right. We might be able to start moving everything. Now, those couriers aren't going to be coming in until, I want to say, like 4 in the morning. So yeah, it might be a minute before they actually put a dent in everything that we have in here, but hopefully they do actually put a dent in everything that we have in here, because, well, manufacturing, we still have a bit of a ways to go with these guys. And again, it does have to be done by December. So yeah, hopefully that works out. We also have a lot of my products currently in storage as well, so we really need to get these guys to move all of this stuff. I might even go ahead and say that having some couriers coming in a little bit earlier. So we have all of these guys. We have what, 6 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 couriers coming in at 4 a.m. How many couriers do I have in total? Let's have a look. So we have 15. You know what? Let me change this up a little bit. Let me do 4 a.m. for all 15 of them. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 6, 7, 8, 9. So those guys are coming in at 4 a.m. These guys are going to come in at 9 a.m. And then the rest of them are going to come in at, let's say, 2 p.m. And so we have 15 couriers coming in all through the day. Let me hire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And let me say you guys come in at, let's say 7 p.m. just to space them out a little bit. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if having 20 couriers is maybe going to be the way to start shifting all of this, because I do want to, they want the Saturn IP for 54 million. Nah, we're good. I do. Why am I losing? What am I losing sales on now? Oh, Saturn controller again. Yeah, the Saturn controller is struggling. Saturn 2 actually just dropped right off to 2 million sales. That's really worrying. Okay. Let me have a look at the details here. So it went 10 million, 9 million, 2 million. Is there a competitor that's just come out? Let me have a look here. We have, let's see, sort by release dates. Saturn, where am I? Saturn 2. There's no competitor. I think we might just not have enough units in stock. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully these couriers can get in here and really start shifting all this stuff out of here. Because if we can, and if they can't, we might really be in some trouble. There we go. That's what I want to see. We've got almost no boxes in there whatsoever, which should mean that we have managed to, well, almost get all of these things delivered on time, which is absolutely fantastic. You guys want me to do some hosting? Absolutely, I will do that. Saturn 2 shot back up to 11.4 million in sales. So again, I want to say that I'm pretty sure that was probably just a supply issue, which is completely fine. Astrophone's doing pretty good too. And we did a Vector 11 go out. So let me immediately, do I want to tell my subsidiary to port this? You know what? I'm going to tell my subsidiary to port this. Why not? Let's see if they're any good at porting things. They don't have the capacity to deal with more work. Okay, well, that was wishful thinking. We'll give it to the porting team. And I guess we'll just make it a top priority since it is kind of the new thing. So we'll have them work on the Vector 11 port, then we'll do Longsword and Wave as well. We also want to make sure this is printing 125,000 copies as per usual, which is fine. This thing should be done as well. So I think across the board, we're looking pretty good on both contract work and on a few things as well. We actually are up to 3 stars with our business reputation, which means I should be able to have a couple of subsidiaries. And I think what I'm going to do, well, I say 3 subsidiaries in total, not a couple. I think what I'm going to do is once we get to 1.6 billion, okay, we're at 1.6 billion. That was fair enough. Ooh. So these guys want Loretta Bond. Can I have a look at the details? So Loretta's 60 years old. She's been with the antivirus team for a very, very long time. And the portfolio is, well, yeah, it's longsword, right? So Loretta has a very, very good portfolio with this company. Oh, okay. Let me see here. So profit wise, Loretta has made this company 1.3, let's say 2.5, 3.3, so 130, 240, 330, 365. Let's say Loretta's made this company about $400 million as a lead designer since 2018. So in 10 years, this person has designed software that has made the company $400 million. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot of money. We are going to counter their offer for $951,331, and we're going to see if Loretta sticks with Nerdrosoft, which I think by the looks of it, Loretta is going to be sticking with Nerdrosoft, which is good because we actually have got Longsword 16 going out this month apparently. So it's good that we're keeping Loretta around. I think that's the right choice. I feel like that is the right choice. And almost like clockwork, there it is, Longsword 16 by Nerdrosoft. It was designed by Loretta Bond. It is outstanding. It is inspiring. It is unavoidable. That is what we want it to be. Loretta about to knock it out of the park again with Longsword 16, which is going to need some porting for sure. We don't want to develop something. We want to port this guy. So let's make sure that it is on every decent operating system. We'll go for those guys right there. We'll also do Astrophone because I think that's important. We'll do the old Astrophone as well, just to be sure. Vector 11, I think we were porting it. Let me just make sure we got it to everything that it should be on, which it is. So yeah, we'll just let them sort of chill on that. We'll pause this. We're going to port Longsword 15 over to everything first, even though, well, you know what? That's probably not, it's probably not worth doing. It's probably not worth finishing the Longsword 15 port, to be completely honest. What do you want? Oh, you want more stuff. Okay, so you're already making a lot of money, Loretta. You just got given $1 million bonus as well to stick with the company. And now you either get a $3,000 meal every day or a $300,000. I'll give you the car. It's interesting that Loretta seems to really understand her value. Like, this is one of those situations. I think Loretta fully understands the assignment and realizes that this company cannot do, you know, we kind of need her here, really. Anyway, let's cancel the old Longsword ports and let's get this new one started so that we can bring the new Longsword to as many operating systems as we possibly can. And I mean, Longsword 15, it did do almost $1 million last month, but that's all right. We just did 11 million on Vector 11, 11 million on Saturn 2. We have Saturn Controller doing 6.2 right there. Expenses are 45 million. So this thing's probably never going to make money, which is fair enough. I mean, it kind of makes sense. As long as Saturn itself makes money, it'll be all right. As long as the profits are above the add-on price, I think we'll be all right. It is nice that this is all doing really well for us, though. Also, looking at it, Wave 17, let me get you ported to a few new things. We'll go for basically just those two right there. And we'll cancel the Wave 16 port because there's no point doing it. And again, we'll just sort of prioritize Longsword 16 into Wave 17. That should keep us pretty good. We finished a print job for Canvas 11. Canvas 10 went out last year. When is Canvas 11 going out? April 2029. We actually don't really have much queued up for 2029. Huh. A visitor looking to strike a deal with my company went home due to the condition of my waiting room. So this waiting room is apparently filthy. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it sort of is. It definitely sort of is. Maybe we should hire a few more cleaning staff. I don't really want to assign them all. I mean, these guys are all assigned to the HQ lobby because I want the logo to be nice and clean. How many more cleaners do we have here? We have 14. So let me grab 7 of them and let me set these guys to all come in at, I'm going to say 7 a.m. And then you guys are all going to come in at 11 a.m. And I guess we're just going to try and get a bunch of cleaners in the office all throughout the day. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of them. They're going to come in at 3 p.m. So you guys to 3 p.m. and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more are all going to come in at 7 p.m. leaving at 11. They all get in at 7. I think we probably do want to get another 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go for an 11 p.m. start for you guys, leaving at 3. That should keep us pretty good. So basically, that should hopefully help to clean things up a fair bit. Now let's see, what do we got? They want to buy Vector for 62 million? No, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. I'm not selling the Vector franchise either. It's absolutely not happening. Saturn 2 update is done. Let's get that out the door and see what that does for us. I'm hoping again for some very good things. Saturn 2, 11.8 million last month is wild. Kingdom Guardians, by the way, 7.7 million last month. It came out quite a few years ago and is still selling like crazy. In fact, it is now the second best selling thing that this company has ever done. I'm also wondering, Hellshock 4, does it need to go to anything new? It's not really. No. not really, no. This might be on track to take over. I'd be really surprised if Kingdom Guardians becomes our best seller. I'm surprised it's actually our second best seller of all time, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, that's a thing. Saturn 2 did just drop off a little bit. I don't like that. Not thrilled about it, but it's probably okay. Oh, I can see why people don't like this office or this waiting room. I can see why it's upsetting. It is actually just filthy. That really does make complete sense. But we do have all this new cleaning staff coming in, so hopefully, I mean, it looks like it's being kept in slightly better condition, which is great. They want me to print things by November. Sure, we can take that. I mean, it's what, 64,000 copies. We can do 1.008 million per month. Yeah, we're fine. And wouldn't you know that just as I say that, it falls off massively. 4.6 million units sold with a potential consumer base of 6.5 million consumers. Hellshock 4, it is still selling, by the way. Hellshock 4 might pass the $300 million mark if it keeps selling like this. It's at 6.1 million sold with 6.6 million potential consumers. So I'm going to say it's probably reasonable to assume that Hellshock 4 probably isn't going to pass that threshold. But given the fact that my porting team isn't doing anything right now, I am just going to give them some jobs to just move some things around a little bit. We'll just get some basic little port jobs done to, you know, give them something to do, really. Just keep them busy, keep them, you know, a little bit of extra money coming in here and there is definitely not going to hurt us. I'm definitely here for it. And it looks like, yep, we just passed $1.7 billion as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So wave 17, we've got that ported to everything it needs to be on as well, right? I'm pretty sure that we did just wrap that up. Okay. Well, that does make me quite happy. I'm definitely kind of pleased about it. Kingdom Guardians, like I said, it fell off quite a bit. Not thrilled about it. Hellshock 4, absolutely. 3 months time, you're going to be over $300 million. So we're in a good place. And then if we look at my subsidiaries, that was the important thing we want to do as well. We also need to buy these guys. But if we look at my subsidiary, we'll sort by worth there. That's not my subsidiary. You are. Let me look at your details. So there's still no, oh, it's because they have both of these still to come out. Okay. I'm going to cancel this expansion pack because I'm assuming it's for Dream Gang's show 4. They have these guys coming out in a couple of months time. Then they should be working on spacecraft, which is kind of what we want them to be doing. And then I guess I own 50% of this company. I think they're worth a little bit less than they were. So potentially, yeah, so my shares are worth, so that, yeah, we can take them over for $558 million. That is less than it was previously, and that is going to keep me above $1 billion. So I'm going to take these guys over. They are going to be my subsidiary. We're going to give them, well, this is the tricky part. We'll give them 170. That does bring me down below here, which is really unfortunate. And I've just canceled a whole bunch of hosting and printing deals. Good Lord. I wonder who bought out that company. Yeah. That's a lot of money. that's a lot of money. But my thinking, plain and simple, is that now they're a subsidiary. I want to go in here. I want to look at their details. They have a golf simulator coming up, which actually, to be quite honest with you, that's not the worst thing in the world. You know, a golf. I want these guys doing sports games. I want them doing. I think we'll go. Wait, was it sports or was it simulators? I wanted them doing. Do we want them to do both? So sort by release. So they did the coaster game, didn't they? So that's kind of what I want them doing more of. And they're not designing one right now. So why don't we go and say that we want them to do that? Why don't we go and say, you know, give me a game. It is going to be a simulator. Go to my subsidiary. It's going to be Skip Tina Interactive. And it is going to be, oh, they have racing games as well. They haven't done one in a very long time, but that's all right. This one's still doing pretty well for itself, which is great. So we'll go ahead and say this. It is not going to be Coaster Manager in Heaven 4. We're just going to say it's, we are going to do roller coaster. We'll do, is it roller dash coaster or roller space coaster? We'll do roller dash coaster, I guess. That's going to, hold on, that's bothering me. Is it roller, what is it? Oh, it's neither. It's roller coaster, one word with a capital C for Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I think we are just going to do roller coaster manager is what I think we go for. I think it's not the most inspired name, but it's fair enough. We'll do a lower price of $69 as we usually do. We're not going to make it subscription based. You know what? We might do subscription based and call it Roller Coaster World. I think we'll do Roller Coaster World because it's kind of a combination of Roller Coaster Tycoon and Theme Park World, both games that I adore. So that works really nicely for us. And then, I mean, the framework is going to be, I think it's just going to be this one. I think that's fair enough. Oh wait, no, we have this one as well, and it's mine. So yeah, we'll use that framework. That'll be fine. Bring the tech levels up to date a little bit where possible. And for a roller coaster game, we are going to want post-processing and advanced HUD. For 3D graphics, we really want facial animations. We don't need cutscenes, although people like cutscenes, so we'll do that. Adaptive music, recorded dialogue, multiplayer, sure. We don't really need any of the rest of this. Mod support, I think, would be a big one. We'll put that in there. At this point, I'm just thinking about what I'd want. And then for the editors and all that stuff, let's sort by releases. We have Canvas 10, of course. We have, interestingly, nothing that supports the tech level that I want here. What am I going for the 3D tech? It is 2027. Can I get 2026 on, I guess, Quad Sculpt 2? I'm going to say that's fair enough. I think that's what we're going to go for. Again, license fees, but that's all right. And then Wave 16 has the tech level for audio that I want. When it comes to active users, there's 3 million on that platform. I'll tell you what, let's just go for, this. Let's go for Saturn 2. Let's go for Astrophone 2. That gives us 3.6 million active users, a lot more that we can port over to. That's perfect. Market targeting, we're going to target the gameplay because I think that is going to be very important as well. And then for everything else, we are not going to be assigning any of my people to work on this. It is going to purely be the subsidiary. I'm publishing it, obviously. We don't need a publisher. And we'll start development. So Roller Coaster World has been added to Skip Tina Interactive's development queue. We'll begin development once current projects are finished. So now I have both of my subsidiaries working on a little something something. I think I'm going to cancel Zombie Arena 2. Although was Zombie Arena 1 successful? It was actually quite successful. But I think I'm going to cancel Zombie Arena 2 just so that they end up working on Roller Coaster World a bit sooner. So let's do that. And that should mean that by December, they're going to be working on what I want them to be working on. That should mean that by May, these guys are going to be working on spacecraft as well. So I guess we might have a really good couple of years ahead of us for not just Nerdrosoft, but the entire Nerdrosoft family. So I was wondering why it seemed like I was running out of money, which admittedly last month we did also have another negative month for our income, which isn't all that good. That's a little bit worrying. But it turns out that 73.6 million of that was in printing or manufacturing. And it turns out that's because we were printing the Astro Phone 3, which, as it turns out, is scheduled for September 2029, which is a year and a half since the second one came out. So that's wild that they're starting to turn around the phones that quickly. It's concerning because the last one also didn't make money. Yeah. We might need longer development cycles on the Astro Phone, because I'm not really prepared to eat the development costs and the manufacturing costs of a completely new phone every year and a half. That's a little bit absurd, to be completely honest with you. I'm not really interested in that. So hopefully we'll figure out what's going on with that. But for now, let's see. These guys are working on an expansion for August 2029. I don't know. Cancel that. I want these guys to work on spacecraft. That is the only I've also just realized, and I should have realized this when I named it, spacecraft is also like, that's just a generic term for like a spaceship. It's a spacecraft. I'm an idiot. I didn't even think of that. It's not why I named it that. I wanted something similar to Starcraft, but you know what? Spacecraft is even better. Anyway, they're working on that. Hopefully that's going to go well, assuming everything works out. These guys are aiming for, oh, that's cool. So they're aiming for December 2032 for Roller Coaster World. So still a few years out, but they are working on it, and that's what I want. These guys, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll see spacecraft get a release date at some point. I have no idea. If they don't make money, they don't make money. That's on them. That's their problem, not mine. Oh, and once again, we've been nominated. Are we getting Best Employer? We absolutely are. Best Product is going to me as well for Longsword 16. Best Designer is not in second place for Loretta Bond. That's fine. And Most Profitable Product is me with Canvas 10. Not bad. We have so many awards. I don't know what to do with them anymore. I'm going to be honest. It's getting to be a problem. I mean, we've not really known what to do with them for a while, to be completely honest. So, you know, some things never really change, I guess. I will say, I think we should end marketing for Kingdom Guardians. And I'm a little bit disappointed that Saturn 2 is not really sitting with as many active users as I had hoped for. I think we could also end support for Astrophone. Liquid could probably use an update to the tech. It seems to be way outdated and there's not that many people using it. I think we've been neglecting this a little bit. So let me get my core team is working on Infinite Kingdom. They are developing it now. So let me go for I guess the porting and updating team can work on this, and we'll get them sort of working on that as a top priority. Let's see. Doors 2 has good active users. Kingdom Guardians admittedly does have a good number of active users. Maybe fixing the bugs on this would help us out as well. Sort of bring the sales back up ever so slightly. I don't know. I mean, we're not marketing it. I'm not gonna market it, but we might as well give it a shot. And we'll give this to the core team, I suppose. And I guess we'll also give it to the updating team. We'll give it to all of those guys just to try and get it done nice and quickly. We'll use Canvas 10. We can use Vector 11, and we can use Sign Edit, I guess. I'm not against using some licensed stuff. We make enough money that it's really not an issue. We can kind of get away with doing all this stuff to make our software better, right? A couple of license fees at this point with, you know, just shy of $1 billion in the bank. It's nothing. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, I totally missed that this was even going to happen. Hellshock 6 has also gone out, which is 2 years after Hellshock 5. This franchise is doing really, really nicely, which is great. If we look at our most profitable things, 305. Hellshock 4 just did 900. It did almost a million last month. That's really surprising, actually, that it's still selling quite as much as it is. Kingdom Guardians is doing fantastic as well, but let's focus on Hellshock 6 because we do want to start printing this guy. 125,000 copies as per usual. We have Canvas 11, 125,000 copies as well. Wave 17, 125,000 copies, just to make sure that everything is, you know, actually aiming to be printed here. Longsword 16 125000, again, just to make sure everything's printing. And I guess Hellshock 6, we are going to port you immediately to everything with 100,000 plus, because we're not doing any porting right now. And I'm also going to take over the update for this to bring all the tech levels up as high as we can immediately, just so this thing is really nicely in line. The core team's not going to work on that. I think the FPS team, on the other hand, can work on that, and that should be all right. The 3D editor in question, Vector 11. The audio tool will be this one, which seems like it's going to be a little bit better for us. And then the 2D editor is going to be this, because again, I have no shame in using other people's things to make my software a little bit better. Let's make that a top priority port. Let me pause this update. Let me just pause this update as well, so these guys can focus on the Liquid update. And then, you know, Hellshock 6 is the only port job that we have going on, so we should be fine there. I just want to try and get Liquid into a good place, because, I mean, looking at it, we have 1% of the market. And that's because my tech levels, I would assume, I mean, my features, my quality, my stability, it's all there, but the tech levels have seriously fallen behind. So if we can bring this thing up to scratch, we might get more money coming in from digital distribution, and hopefully that'll be the case. We also have some hosting here. Let's accept it. You guys want me to print your stuff as well? I can totally do that. I've got a lot of print jobs going through, which is great. My business reputation is going no higher, but all of my other jobs are, I mean, I'm doing all of them. I've got no idea what's going on with that. Now, Astrophone 3 has gone out. Let me go to you and let me say that I want your development time here to be 200%. Astrophone 4 is aiming for November 32. So, yeah, we'll extend that a little bit. It is outstanding and inspiring, which is great. It's just that it is also, you know, really expensive to manufacture, right? That's kind of the problem with Astrophone as a concept, is it's just a wee bit expensive to make, and I lose money on it almost every single time. So if we could not do that, that'd be great. That's definitely what I'm looking for, is to you know, not lose money on everything. Can I also move you to, let's see, releases Astrophone 3, just in case it happens to be successful? I have my doubts that it will be, but we might as well give it a shot, and having Kingdoms or Hellshock 6 on there is probably not a bad idea. We did make money. We did go from 19.5 to 35.3 million. Astrophone 3 did just do 12.9 million in profits. So actually, we might be okay, which is amazing to think about. Also, Hellshock 4 has gone up to just over 1 million in profits as well. So for some reason, people are still buying that one. I guess it's kind of like, can I look at all software and look at profits across the board? So yeah, I can see global profits. So the most profitable piece of software ever was an operating system. The most profitable game ever was Kingdom Battle 3, which is great. But the most profitable first-person shooter of all time was Hellshock 4. And you know what? I really like that as a stat. I will also say it's amazing that this title here, which is coming up on 5 years old, still has almost 1 million active users. That's not necessarily unheard of. Actually, that is really rare in gaming in general, outside of like World of Warcraft, I guess. But yeah, this is, I love this. I love that it still has 130,000 active users. I love that it's the most profitable first-person shooter of all time. It's just, that's so cool. It's also what, the 5th, 6th most profitable game of all time? So I guess that's maybe why people are still buying it. I doubt it. I doubt that's the reason. I'm sure Software Inc. doesn't contribute, you know, doesn't factor that into the equation. That doesn't contribute to the equation, but it's still pretty cool. It's still a really cool detail. I really like that. That's great. I love that. I love that that's a stat that we can look at. I'm really proud of that. Anyway, we just got the Liquid update out the door. 3.8 million active users is up to 15.6 million active users. So that now gives me a 4.7% share of the market, with only 3 people signed to the platform. So hopefully we can do something about that. The alternative would be going and taking over some of the other companies, which is certainly an option with some of them. This one, for example, apparently, I don't remember buying out the shares of this company. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't for the life of me remember doing this, but they are only worth 156 million. We could do that. They have a chunk of the market as well. Oh wait, that's me. Never mind. Wait, no, was that me? No, I looked at these guys. Yeah, I don't remember taking them over. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't remember doing that, but whatever. Looking at you guys, we could buy out 40% of the company. None of these guys are really worth all that much. And yeah, I could take over chunks of their company. I don't think I'm going to bother. I don't think there's any point. I don't think there's much to be gained by doing that. But it would be interesting. It definitely would be interesting. Now, let's take a look at Hellshock 6. 9.2 million. Astrophone 3, 13.9 million. This one, Astrophone 3, seems like it might actually make a profit. Astrophone 2 didn't, but we've sold almost half of the total units sold here, so we might be okay on it. We maybe didn't need to delay the next one, but just to be safe, we don't need to be releasing phones all that often. We also have, by the looks of it, well, we are fixing some bugs here, so I think, I mean, I guess there is maybe like a task going on to fix things here, but it also, I don't know why I'm tracking the Hellshock 6 support at the same time. That's a really weird one. I think we maybe just want to, oh, an update's already in development. Okay, that's totally fine. They can keep working on that. We finished the print job for Vector 12. Vector 11 was 2028. Vector 12 is going to be April 2030. Man, we are doing so much with this company. We're back above $1 billion, which is great. My subsidiaries are working, hopefully, spacecraft November 2033. They are doing Dream Gang Show 6, and I did say I wanted to take that over at some points and rename it, but honestly, I'll leave them to it. It's totally fine. These guys are working on Roller Coaster World for December 2032. They have Golf Simulator coming out this December, so next month. We're in a good place. Nerdrosoft as a publisher, as a company, you know, we went in a very corporate direction. We've started taking over other companies, letting some companies and subsidiaries go out of business. We're being a little bit more cutthroat in our business choices, but I think we're making the right moves as a company where I mean, you know, the numbers would back that up, right? $1.1 billion in the bank with a company that is worth $1.6 billion. So yeah, I really can't complain about that. And so with us now entering May of 2030, Vector 12 just went out. It did 8.3 million last month. Astrophone 3 did 5.4 million last month. It might break even. I think it needs to sell considerably more than it's currently selling, so the competition might have come out and might have sort of stifled the sales a little bit. Hellshock 6 has 1.1 million active units sold with 641,000 active users. It has made a really nice profit there as well. And if we look at profits overall, I mean, Hellshock 4 has finally stopped selling, which is a little bit bittersweet. I might port it to a few other systems just because. I might just port it to like anything that has users, but I think we can leave it be. Kingdom Guardians, admittedly, it has had a bit of a resurgence, I think, which is great. I might port it to a couple of new systems just because people do seem to be interested in it. So let's do anything with 100,000 users or more. We'll do the same with Hellshock just to make sure. So 100,000 users or more, and the system gets Hellshock and Kingdom Guardians. Or basically Hellshock 4 is basically Nerdrosoft's Skyrim. To be quite honest, that's basically what we're doing with it. So that's fair enough. Anyway, I think we're gonna leave it there for today. I'd mentioned in the past, in a previous episode, that part 20 of this series is likely going to be the last one, and I think I am going to stick with that because we've kind of got to the point where the game is, it's playing itself, and that's okay. That's kind of late game, you know, softwaring. We have nothing else to unlock. We do now have the holographic computers, which they look ridiculous. I don't really want them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really care for them. They look like, let's see, where's the replace button? They look like this. So they're a whole thing. They're cool, you know, they're all right, but we don't really need them, you know. We don't really need them everywhere. I might go around maybe my team leaders get the holographic computers, and that'll stop them complaining about being stuck with laptops. But I'm not a huge fan of the holographic computers. I also wonder, can I change the color of them? Is that like a thing? So the hologram itself, oh my god, I can make the hologram match the room. Oh god. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that really quick. Hold on a minute. Okay, there we go. We've got a purple hologram right there. We've got an orange one right here, blue right there, orange here as well. We got purple up here, and then sort of the cyan one here as well. So basically, we have color coordinated holographic computers for the team leaders, because of course we do. Because it's 2030, and that's what we're gonna have in the year 2030, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and end marketing for the Saturn controller. Saturn's doing all right as well. We probably should look to update it at some point, but I think, like I said, we can go ahead and leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. The next one will probably be the last in the series, and that's okay. We'll come back to Software Inc. at some point, probably next year, but it's okay. I'm looking at Airport CEO, just in case you were curious about what I'm looking at for the next series on the channel after this. It's probably going to be Airport CEO, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.